Professional darts players are now earning more than ever before, and next year there's a big increase to the PDC prize money coming, which will only see the sport become even more lucrative. And at the same time as this, there's increasing scrutiny on an organisation that's supposed to represent all the players, kind of like a union, that the PDC rules dictate every player must give a percentage of their earnings to. And it's just got a whole lot worse after the organisation's chairman, a former world number one, gave a shocking interview which has been heavily criticised by both players and fans. Hello and welcome back to the Darts World channel. In today's video, we're going to take a look at why so many of the top PDC darts pros feel like they're being ripped off. Today, we're going to be talking about the PDPA, which stands for the Professional Darts Players Association. Now, the PDPA is registered as a company within the UK, allowing us to view some key documents, including its incorporation from way back in 1986, when a London solicitor by the name of Peter Harlow signed off on the formation of what was then known as the World Professional Darts Players Association. It also includes the initial aims of the organisation, such as to represent the views of pros, establish and maintain a high standard of conduct among pros, and popularise darts around the world. There's then a fascinating page signed by the association's first directors, including legendary world champions John Lowe, Bob Anderson and Eric Bristow. That was all done before the PDC was even formed, and it's that organisation, spearheaded by Barry Hearn, which almost 4 decades later has taken the game to new heights and a place where many of the founding players likely, even in their wildest dreams, never saw the sport going. This has only skyrocketed following the Luke Littler effect, which alongside the PDC's great work over the years has allowed them to sign a record TV deal, meaning that next year the total prize fund for the PDC Tour will be 25 million, with the winner of the World Championships getting a crazy £1 million. With so much money now in the sport, players and fans alike are beginning to question the role of the PDPA, but why? Well, as it says on the PDPA website, they are fully partnered with the PDC, and as such, the PDC rules dictate that anybody who plays in its events must be a PDPA member. For that, the PDPA say that they become a member of an association which acts to protect, improve and negotiate the conditions, rights and status of all professional players by collective bargaining agreements and negotiations with the relevant bodies. So, to become a member, how much does it cost? Well, for full members, that's the 128 tour card holders, it costs an annual £575 fee, but that's the small part, as if you look at the bottom here, there's a 2% levy, meaning that any player who wins money at a PDC event has to pay 2% of that to the PDPA. To put that into perspective, the winner of the next World Championships, the first with the £1 million winner's prize, will have to pay 20k of that straight to the PDPA. In total, the 25 million tour prize fund means that next year the DRA should get £500,000 of the players' prize money. So, what exactly are the players getting for that? Well, over the past few years we've seen a few examples. For instance, during the COVID pandemic, when the PDPA offered an emergency fund and a hardship fund, respective non-repayable and repayable payments of £1,000 to help pros really in need of financial support. They've also offered some mental health support to players in need, notably Brazil's Diogo Portela, and according to some reports, they also helped Josh Rock through a tough dispute with his past manager. The PDPA website also has a list of the broader things they provide, including access to discounted hotels and an airport shuttle bus. It also includes stuff like partnerships with businesses like accountants and solicitors, which obviously require extra payment. But part of the bigger reason why so many players are getting angry is that the PDPA just don't seem to be doing their job. For example, this part of their website says that the PDC Tour card should be a golden ticket and that they work to continually make it more lucrative and give all professional players more opportunities. But a key case of this not happening and the tour card becoming even less lucrative can be seen with the Eurotour changes over the past few years, which in 2024 made it much easier for the top players to qualify and cut the spots at the tour card holder qualifier for lower ranked players from 24 to just 10. This was highly criticised by fans who felt it would just mean that we continue to see the same players week in, week out, like in the Premier League, and by players such as Mados Razma, who said that it would kill the chances for many players to make the European Championship. A change this year protected the big boys even more and was summed up by David Schlichting as making it more likely to see the top players while taking away more chances from players fighting for their livelihoods. Alan Suter even went as far as saying that he considered handing in his tour card as a result of the change. Now obviously these are PDC decisions, but it's been radio silence from the PDPA, who should really be standing up for their players, as that's what they state they do in their aims. And that would be the work of the PDPA board, which features former players including Glenn Durrant, Jamie Caven, Alan Warren-Little and Peter Manley, who acts as the chairman. Manley is the longest serving member of the PDPA board, having started back in December 2000 and been a chairman since 2003, meaning he has held the role for over 20 years. This means he was a member of the PDPA board when he refused to shake Phil Taylor's hand after the 2002 World Final, in which he was whitewashed, and the PDPA chairman when his actions seemingly led a young Adrian Lewis to storm off at the World Championship stage in 2006. And recently, Manley has put himself and the PDPA in hot water after he gave an interview to Phil Bars from Online Darts, where first of all, he straight up went back on the line that a tour card should be a golden ticket. He said that modern day players moan too much, and I quote that, "It comes from a lot of players realising that obviously Barry's golden ticket isn't a golden ticket for them. You've got so many chances to qualify for the World Championship now. If you don't, you've got to look at yourself." End quote. Manley seemed to just keep defending the PDC and referring to his playing days like a dinosaur, rather than defending the players who were forced to pay the PDPA to represent them. There were also other controversial points in that interview, such as Manley saying that he disagreed with appeals for first round loser money in Players' Championship events, which it seems like the PDPA should be calling for if they really have the interests of all players at heart. He also spoke about his frustrations about players venting their own frustrations to him about venue conditions, which likely comes from these social media posts by current tour card holder Mickey Mansell and former top 10 player Justin Pipe. Mansell said that the recent conditions in the UK and the Netherlands weren't good enough, and that the PDPA were blaming the PDC, who were then blaming the venue. Pipe responded by saying that Manley is now going through the motions with the PDPA, and that he only lines his pockets and cares bleep all about the players outside of the top 10, and that would never change. Before Manley's interview, Online Darts also released one with Joe Cullen, where he revealed that he, as well as many other tour card holders, think that the PDPA should be optional, as well as that he didn't even know what they did. In a recent interview, Florian Hempel added saying that none of us 128 tour card holders actually know what they do. If Joe Cullen, who's been in the game for 50 years, doesn't know what they do, then I certainly don't either. He also said, there are always a few guys from the PDPA around, like Peter Manley or Jamie Caven, former players who seem to have landed a post-career role just so they don't need to find other work. At least, that's how it feels. They each seem to have some small job, but none of them appear to have any real responsibilities. Jamie Caven just sits behind a laptop typing things. He comes around once a year to talk to us, but it's never clear what it's about, and it's never much. During the interview, the DRA levy was compared to a church tax, and Hempel concluded by saying that it seemed like there was a conflict of interest in that the players who helped to form the PDC were running the PDPA, and that he hoped the comments of Cullen and others would lead to reform. Now, I want you to let me know what you think about the PDPA and Manley's comments in particular. Do you agree with Cullen and think it should be optional, or do you think it serves a purpose and they just need to amend it a bit? Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to subscribe, as currently just 15% of my viewers are. You can also hit the bell icon so that you get notified whenever I upload a brand new darts video. If you learned something new, also please leave a thumbs up, and if there's any videos you want me to make, let me know in the comment section. Thanks for watching.